The digital social connection portfolio has generated significant assets over the review period. It has also generated liabilities that have not been adequately accounted for in public discourse. This audit presents both columns. The net position is not simple. It will not be simplified here. Asset 1. Geographic reach. Documented asset. Digital communication allows meaningful social maintenance across geographic distance that was previously prohibitive. Long-distance friendships, family relationships across cities and countries, professional networks across industries and nations, all maintained at lower friction cost than pre-digital alternatives. Valuation, high. The ability to maintain relationships across distance is a genuine and documented benefit. Diaspora communities, military families, chronic illness patients with limited mobility, people in rural or geographically isolated areas, all document meaningful quality of life improvement from digital communication access. Asset 2. Community formation for marginal identities. Documented asset. Individuals whose identity, interests, or circumstances place them outside majority communities in their geographic area can find others who share those characteristics globally. L, G, B, T, Q plus youth in non-affirming communities. People with rare medical conditions. Individuals with niche professional or intellectual interests. The ability to find your people regardless of where you were born is a genuine reduction in isolation for populations previously isolated by geography alone. Valuation, high for the populations most benefited. Significant. Asset 3. Information access and civic participation. Documented asset with complications. C. Liabilities. Digital platforms have lowered the barrier to civic participation, organized collective action, and distributed information about injustice. Social movements have used digital platforms for coordination that was not previously possible at speed and scale. Valuation, mixed. C. Liability for the complications. Asset 4. Low-cost maintenance contact. Documented asset. Brief digital check-ins, the text, the comment, the brief voice message, maintain the awareness of mutual existence that relationship researchers call ambient awareness. Knowing that someone is present in your life, even without substantive interaction, has documented relationship maintenance value. Valuation, moderate. Ambient awareness is not equivalent to deep connection, but it is not nothing. Liability 1. The substitution problem. The most significant liability in the portfolio. Digital social contact has, in many cases, not supplemented in-person social contact. It has replaced it. Studies comparing time allocation in populations before and after smartphone adoption consistently find that digital communication time increased at rates that partially displaced in-person social time. The biological consequences. In-person social interaction produces parasympathetic nervous system regulation, oxytocin release from touch and proximity, mirror neuron activation from observed facial expression, and the specific emotional co-regulation that occurs when two nervous systems are physically in the same space. Digital interaction produces some of these effects in reduced form, and some not at all. Liability value, high. The replacement of in-person contact with digital contact is the mechanism most directly responsible for the loneliness measurement anomaly. Rising digital connection correlating with rising reported loneliness. Liability 2. The comparison engine social media platforms algorithmically surface the most positive, curated, and engagement-optimized representations of other people's lives. This is not accidental. It is the content that gets the most interaction, which is what the engagement optimization algorithm rewards. The result? Users are disproportionately exposed to positive self-presentations of others' lives. Research by Ethan Cross at the University of Michigan documented that passive Facebook use, scrolling without interacting, produced measurable increases in negative affect and decreases in self-reported well-being in a randomized experiment. The more passive social media consumption, the worse people felt about their own lives. The mechanism, the comparison, is not between the user's real life and another person's real life. It is between the user's real life and another person's curated highlight reel. A comparison that will always produce unfavorable results. Liability value, significant. Documented mood effects with population scale implications for a generation that has consumed this content since adolescence. Liability 3, the parasocial substitution. Digital media has enabled the development of parasocial relationships, one-sided emotional bonds with content creators, celebrities, fictional characters, and AI systems at unprecedented scale and intimacy. Research on parasocial relationships finds that they activate many of the same neural systems as real relationships. Watching a favorite YouTuber activates social brain regions. Following a creator's personal life across platforms produces genuine emotional investment. The brain, at the circuit level, does not clearly distinguish between the person who knows you and the person who doesn't. The problem: parasocial relationships provide the emotional texture of connection without the reciprocal vulnerability, mutual investment, and personal growth that make real relationships valuable. They are connection-shaped experiences that do not provide the specific benefits that make connection biologically necessary. A diet of parasocial relationship alongside atrophied real relationship provides the feeling of connection with less of its substance. Liability value, moderate to high. The mechanism that allows someone to have millions of followers and feel profoundly alone. Liability 4. The epistemic fragmentation liability. Digital platforms, organized around engagement optimization rather than truth optimization, have produced information environments that fragment shared reality. When every user's feed is algorithmically customized to maximize their personal engagement, different users inhabit different informational worlds, encountering different facts, different interpretations, different emotional framings of the same events. The shared informational common ground that democratic social life requires erodes. The liability to social connection specifically. Shared reality is a social bonding mechanism. The experience of knowing that you and your neighbor are seeing the same world, disagreeing about specific things but agreeing about basic facts, is a form of social connection. Its erosion is also an erosion of a social fabric that digital connection does not compensate for. Liability value. Significant. Long-term effects on social trust and democratic cohesion are not fully measurable within the audit period, but are visible in trend data. Liability 5. Attention fragmentation. Smartphones and notification-driven platforms produce what researchers including Cal Newport and Gloria Mark have documented as attention fragmentation, the interruption of sustained attention from digital alerts at frequencies that prevent the deep cognitive states in which the most valuable thinking occurs. Gloria Mark's research documented that the average attention to a single screen before switching had decreased from approximately 2.5 minutes in 2004 to approximately 47 seconds by 2020. The cost: the ability to sustain attention is a trainable skill that also degrades with disuse. The population-level reduction in attention span across the period of smartphone adoption is documented and partially attributable to the attention architecture of digital platforms. Liability value: moderate. Difficult to fully monetize, but represents a reduction in human cognitive capacity with long-term implications. The digital social connection portfolio generates genuine value in specific applications: geographic reach, marginal identity community formation, and low-cost contact maintenance. It generates meaningful liabilities through in-person contact substitution, comparison mechanism mood effects, parasocial relationship substitution, epistemic fragmentation, and attention capacity reduction. The net position varies by usage pattern. Users whose digital communication supplements, rather than replaces, in-person contact, who use it to coordinate real-world meetings, to maintain relationships across genuine distance, to connect around specific interests, show lower liability realization. Users whose digital communication has largely displaced in-person contact, who spend significant time in passive consumption and parasocial engagement, show higher liability realization. The portfolio is not recommended for divestment. The assets are real. The portfolio requires active management. Left unmanaged, the default usage pattern realized in most users: passive consumption, notification-driven engagement, in-person contact displacement, generates liabilities in excess of assets. The management strategy supported by evidence: use digital communication for coordination and maintenance, protect in-person contact time, limit passive consumption, distinguish between active reciprocal communication and passive consumption. The audit is complete. The position is yours to manage.